to BLACKSITE Sports tonight. We're going to talk about Stephen A. Smith of ESPN. Based left-wing politics has destroyed ESPN. First, I would like for you to subscribe to this channel, hit that like button, hit that notification button, but also comment on this video. Stephen A. Smith on a podcast spoke about the dwindling ratings over at ESPN. He basically said ESPN took a turn for the worse when they got into left-wing politics. When they had people like Jamel Hill leading off the 6 p.m. Sports Center. Remember back in the day, ESPN would have one of the greatest shows of all time. You used to wake up and see it, come home and see it. You had Dan Patrick, Rich Eisen, Keith Olbermann, and so many more like Bob Lay, who basically just talked about sports all day. But once President Trump was elected, all hell broke loose. ESPN started to get into politics. Now, Bobby Petrino, I call him Petrino. Well, when he became president in 2018, they tried to get back on the right track. But what happened is the George Floyd incident. And we all know what happened after that. Everyone at ESPN was talking about politics. And we've seen their ratings go down ever since. ESPN used to be an outlet against politics. Basically, if you went there, you watched sports, you got away from the difficulties of the world, especially politics and what everyone else was doing. But right now, ESPN is losing money. They're stuck in a situation where it's hard to get out because they alienated half of the country. When ESPN started, they had all the viewers watching them. But after a certain period of time, we had George Floyd, we had Colin Kaepernick, and you saw half of the country, what happens to be, we would say, blue or red, decided we're not going to watch ESPN. So your ratings go down, your profitability goes down, everything goes down. And that's why ESPN had to jettison people like Jamel Hill and others of her ilk out of ESPN so they could save the network. Stephen A. Smith, to me, is a little bit more conservative than most of the people over at ESPN. Most of them are left-wing. They believe in woke politics. They believe in every gender should be able to play whatever. And Stephen A. Smith just wants to talk about sports. And that's what it should be, and that's what it should have gone back to be. But I thought they have lost their way, they have lost their audience, and they have lost their profitability. And see how you can ruin something that was great when you let politics get involved in your network? And we're not talking about basic liberal conservative. We're talking about extreme politics. And if anybody's seen Jamel Hill after leaving ESPN, you will actually see how extreme she is. Her fingerprints and other co-hosts on that network helped pull it down. We had Michelle Beadle getting Stephen A. Smith suspended. We had all kinds of nonsense over at that network. So are they getting it back on track? I don't know if John Skipper can do it. I think they have a damaged brand, and it's hard to get it back. So we'll see what happens over at ESPN. But I'm glad that Stephen A. Smith was extremely honest about the situation over at that network. It's sad to see such a great brand go down the drain because of political incidents that people didn't like. Hell, when ESPN came about at that period of time. I think Ronald Reagan was elected president. You didn't hear politics over at ESPN with Bill Clinton and George W. Bush. But after that, Obama comes. Then when Trump comes, all hell breaks loose. So we're going to have to compartmentalize and basically leave the politics to MSNBC, Fox, CNN, and other podcasts, and leave sports where it should be, by itself with the fans. I want to thank you for listening to BLACKSITE Sports. I hope you subscribe to this channel, smash that like button, but also share this video.